Most of us are already know and familiar with batik. But, do you know what is batik and the history behind it? Let's take a look and learn more about batik. Batik, a timeless and intricate textile art, has a deep-rooted history that stretches back over 1,000 years. Batik is a traditional textile art form that known for its intricate patterns and vibrant designs, often created through a process of wax-resist dyeing. Originating in ancient Indonesia, specifically in Java, batik is a technique of wax-resist dyeing that has become one of the most significant cultural expressions in Southeast Asia. The word batik comes from the Javanese language, which is spoken on the island of Java, Indonesia. In Javanese, the word amba means to write, and titik means dot or point. When combined, amba and titik form batik, which refers to the process of creating designs by applying wax to fabric, essentially writing or marking the fabric with dots or lines of wax before dyeing. Batik truly began to take shape as a distinct art form in Indonesia, especially during the Majapahit Empire era, from 1293 until 1527, one of the most powerful empires in Southeast Asia that located in Trayula, East Java. During this period, batik was used for ceremonial purposes, often by the royalty. It became a symbol of nobility, status, and wealth. Batik motifs during this period were heavily symbolic, representing elements of nature, spirituality, and mythology. The wax-resist technique used in the Majapahit era was often employed for religious rituals and as part of royal attire. In 1602, the Dutch East India Company, VOC, arrived in the archipelago of Indonesia. By the mid-1600s, it had established a strong presence in the region. The VOC's trade interests initially focused on spices, but over time, they expanded into other areas of commerce, including textiles. At this time, batik was still a highly specialized craft associated mainly with Javanese royalty and nobility, particularly in regions like Yogyakarta and Solo, Surakarta. While batik existed before Dutch colonization, the Dutch East India Company's arrival in Indonesia marked the beginning of European influence on local industries, including textile production. During the 17th and 18th centuries, the Dutch began exporting batik designs to Europe and other parts of the world, which led to an increased demand for batik textiles. The most significant transformation of batik during the Dutch colonial period came in the 19th century. The Dutch introduced new tools and technologies that revolutionized the production of batik. One of the most important innovations was the introduction of the batik cap, stamped batik, which replaced the traditional batik tulis, hand-drawn batik, in many cases. Batik cap is created by using metal stamps or caps that were dipped in molten wax and pressed onto fabric. This allowed for quicker and more consistent patterns, making batik production much faster than the labor-intensive hand-drawing method. The batik cap technique also led to the production of large quantities of batik, making it more affordable and accessible to the general public. Under Dutch rule, batik became a valuable commodity, especially as demand for exotic goods increased in Europe during the 18th and 19th centuries. Dutch traders and colonialists began exporting Indonesian batik textiles to Europe, where it was fashionable for clothing, interior decor, and even as wall hangings. The Dutch also established batik workshops that catered to both local and foreign demand. Batik workshops in cities like Yogyakarta and Solo became more commercialized, producing both traditional hand-drawn batik and the newer stamped batik, cap, in large quantities for export. Even after Indonesia gained independence in 1945, batik continued to hold great cultural importance. The Dutch colonial era helped shape the commercial and artistic aspects of batik, but batik remained an enduring symbol of Indonesian heritage. It became increasingly popular in the global fashion industry, and in 2009, UNESCO recognized Indonesian batik as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity, ensuring its preservation for future generations.